Hey, Groovers. I'm going live because I'm driving home from work. It's Monday in Australia, 20 past 5 in the afternoon. And I've got the COVID blues or the second shot blues. And part of going live is just someone to come in and keep me company and keep me awake. I'm suffering from the most um, terrible exhaustion. I'm doing okay. Really, you expect a bit of a side effect from a shot. Hey, Blue, you were perfect. You saw Blue and in you came. How are you, gorgeous? But yeah, I felt like I've had the blues all day. I've been fine. I've had a productive day at work, but I've really had to concentrate. Yeah, wake up, Tori. Um, I've had a brain fog, which apparently is a pretty common um, side effect of the second Pfizer. And it's the second week of my new job, and I'm like, great. My brain feels like it's frozen, and it felt fuzzy all day. But I still did a productive, busy day, and I got to work. I started work half an hour earlier than I meant to, so I've now got half an hour owing, and I'm catching up with my sister tomorrow for lunch. So instead of a half an hour lunch break, I'm getting an hour, so that's good. But yeah, keep me awake, man. Tell me stuff. Um, but the other thing is, by about 2 o'clock this afternoon, in addition to the brain freeze, or maybe earlier, lunchtime, like 12ish, I just felt like I needed to go to bed. Felt really tired. And look, I've heard about some pretty bad side effects. I'm not complaining because really they're quite mild, but I've just been yawning and yawning and yawning and just wanting to go to bed. And I've got an hour's drive to get home. So I'm like, go live on YouTube and people can keep me awake. I just, thanks, Blue. I just stopped and got an iced coffee. It's actually a mocha, so it's not like full on coffee. It's got a bit of chocolate in it as well, um, to have on the drive home. And coffee at work wasn't even touching the sides. I even went out at lunchtime and got like a barista coffee, and it tasted like water, and it was a strong one. Um, a mini dose will do that probably. I can't really read. Trying not to get into trouble. Don't want to hit a deer. Your body's responding as normal. Exactly. And look, I didn't have to take the day off and stay at home, but I didn't think it was going to. I went in there going, this isn't going to bother me. And if it does, it's going to be minor. And it is. But leaving work and you've been yawning and wanting to go to bed for like 5 hours is a bit scary. Hi, Serenity B. How are you, beautiful? So, yeah, I'm asking everybody to keep me company while I drive home, to keep me awake. Hopefully, there'll be some moments in the traffic where I can read chat, and I basically want to get home, give Sunny her dinner. I've got some meatballs that I made um, on Saturday, that are really yummy. They're like meatballs in a tomato sauce, but then there's chili and black beans and lots of coriander, and then you serve it with grated cheese and sour cream. So it's like a meatball dish. It's really yummy. I'll put some music on in a little while. We'll do a bit of station hopping. Although the last time actually, I've got to turn Bluetooth off. Um, my audio is probably just abysmal. The last time I played music, nobody could hear it. I'm not sure if I've just turned my speaker on or off. I can't touch my phone, so if I'm on Bluetooth at the moment, my audio is going to sound really bad. Don't you love that when someone in another lane needs to get over and you can do like a swapsies? You smelt it, the meatballs? So yeah, I had my second jab at midday yesterday, and that's one of the things. Oh, the audio is good. Oh, great, thank you. Um, just focusing on the cars in front of me. Do not want to rear end anyone because I definitely don't want to hit a baby deer. Do you know what's really interesting with the Pfizer shot is they tell you when you get it, like the first shot I had, and then the second one. Actually, the second one they didn't tell me much at all because they've kind of already done all of that. They've given us the lowdown, but they say that if you're going to have symptoms, it's usually 24 hours after the shot. The people in the building where I work, we're all either now fully vaccinated or some are still only half vaccinated. But anyone that has had any symptoms at all, no matter how small, it's been precisely 24 hours later that they've kicked in to the minute. Isn't that interesting? But yeah, I've had nothing like some people have. I'm not complaining at all. Like, you expect it, you get a vaccine, you expect it. The only issue I had after the first shot was my arm was sore, but this one, I've just had a really foggy brain all day, and at about lunchtime, I was just like, I need to go to bed and sleep for a week. So, yeah, lots of fluids. Oh, yeah, so, I will be Serenity Bed, well, sort of. So I'll feed my little Moogie, Sunny Bum, and then I'm going to have my meatballs, and I'm going to curl up on the daybed and watch Survivor, and I'll be in my jammies in the off chance I do fall asleep. I swapped out my daybed's awesome. It's a Danish lounge chair, not a lounge chair, a couch from the 70s. So it's got that really beautiful stylized timber and some legs, and it turns into a bed. And on the back of it, there's two legs that you pull out. There's two little button knobs that you pull out. It goes down, and there you go, bingo, daybed. It's really cool. But I was using it as a daybed using the 1970s Danish mattresses, or cushions really, off the daybed. But interestingly, I've managed to rig it up so that the $1,000 mattresses I had made for Gidget, my camper van, they're now on it. Oh my God, it was comfy before, but now it's like amazing. So I'll take a massive jug of water and my meatballs and watch Survivor and probably sleep in the daybed. There's a doona and everything, so I can get all snugly in there. I'll make sure I've set my alarm. Getting fancy. Oh, yeah. Fancy with the daybed. It makes sense, though. I spent $1,000 getting these wicked mattresses made. They're like a dark Ferrari red with white piping, vinyl piping. Oh, my God, around the edges. They're very cool. When I got rid of Gidget, it's like, you're not getting the mattresses. No, sorry, I'm keeping them. Because even if they're not on the daybed, like, you can pull them off and turn them back. They're a single bed each. Or you can push them together and make a bed on the floor. But now I've got them as a daybed. So, woo-hoo. If you're not well tomorrow, stay. Oh, yeah, look, if I'm not well, I'll stay home. But I really think if I was, the adverse reaction would be today. But obviously, yeah, if I don't feel well. Although I don't want to be unwell tomorrow. I'm having lunch with my sister. And then my sister and I are taking my niece and nephew, the ones that are in boarding school, out for fish and chips tomorrow night after work. So I really don't want to be unwell. So put out the vibes I'm not, because I've got nice social events tomorrow. But the benefit of working part-time, and this week is my 2-day week, is if you are sick, you just make it up with another day during the week. So, I pull over, this bracket is really loose. It only takes one pothole to loosen the bracket. It's pathetic. Take this car off road, god damn it. I need a bracket with muscles. Look at it, it's falling again. I can't touch my phone. You might just look at the sky, but look at the sky. It looks like one of those cards you get with a quote from the Bible on it. Do you reckon? God created the heaven and the earth. Admire his creation. I've always been the social butterfly, Serenity Bee. That's why I'm never going to be a big YouTuber, because YouTube's my pastime when I'm not doing anything else. And now that we're heading into spring, now that we're in spring and heading into summer, I'm on the beach a lot. Like, hey, Francesca, I do not believe in sitting at a computer live on YouTube when it's an amazing day outside. I don't even like going to the gym during the summer. I'm going to stick with it this summer. I'm not going to do what I did last year and lose interest. I'm going to keep going, because at the end of the day, I've only got to be there for 45 minutes or an hour of a sunny day. And there's quite a few classes that they do outside during the warmer weather anyway. So, yeah. But that's why I'll never make it on YouTube, because you kind of got to go live all the fucking time. And you got to be bitching about people all the fucking time. And I ain't got time for that. Projects around the house. I've got my new neighbour's moved in, and she's always up for an adventure. I found my partner in crime. So, yeah. YouTube will always just be a hobby for me on the side. It's never going to be my... Don't get me wrong. If there was a way I could do YouTube and supplement my part-time income, I'd give it a go. But I've already worked out the only way I'm going to do that is if I enter the seedy world of drama, or be like a true crime creator who's hitting people up for cash with a Discord and memberships, and I don't want to do that. So I'll just keep on being my random, sporadic. I can't commit to anything on YouTube. Like, even my Smooth Criminal podcast channel, the other day I was like, this morning, I'm driving into work and I'm like, fuck, I haven't uploaded any more video, any more episodes of the Soft Six for like over a week now. Like, yeah, we've got a gang now, because I've always had my neighbour next door, Jude, and she's got her own house, and then I've got my own house, and then behind me is Colleen, and her husband is away for work a lot, and then directly in front of me is Pam, and she and her husband own the house in front, but it's their shack. They actually live in the north of the state, but she can work from home, and she comes down here a lot for respite because she's a carer for Ralph. So there's Pam, and then my friend Donna, who actually sold my new neighbour Gina her place. She's part of our little group of six as well. So yeah, but I mean, Donna's married, but we've got our little gang of girls. We go for walks and go down to Park Cafe and grab coffees. And we've been doing this even like down to the farmers market. Some of the stuff that goes on at our little community centre. We've been doing that even before Gina moved in last week. She's been exploring the area from the get-go. So yeah, we've got a happy little gang now of six, and it's good fun. Thank you for popping in, Blue. And yeah, someone else now has to keep me awake. Blue's got me like a third of the way home. Okay, Serenity Bee. Sorry, I did see your query. It's a bit hard because I'm answering one comment before I get to another. So I wasn't ignoring your comment about my new job. But yes, I have a new job. I am very proud of myself for recognising in my last role that even though I liked the firm that I was working for and the people they employ, they've got a knack of employing great people. I wasn't the right fit for the job. They needed somebody a lot more experienced in that area of law in this jurisdiction because I was new to both. And I was also only part-time and the workload was massive and it was isolating. So, yeah, Francesca's taken on the challenge to babysit me. Thank you. Yeah, so I gave it a really good hard crack, but it gets to a point with a job, even if you want to do well at it, which I did, that it's you know that you're in too deep and it's too much and you need help for it to work. You shouldn't have to be constantly giving yourself a pep talk that you're going to be able to make it work. You know, and like just because I had a good day, I'd get in the car and I'd be like, I had a really good day today. This is what it could be like every day, but it wasn't. It was just way too full on and way too much work, and they really needed more people or more a full-time person. What the job was meant to be at the start, which I would have been able to do, isn't what it became. It became a really crazy full-on job in a very short space of time. And luckily for me, I was like, yep, no. So I've gone back to the community legal centre I was with before. They're the ones that recommended the job with the law firm to me and recommended me to the firm. But at the time I'd said to them, if any jobs come up, let me know, because I really, really wanted to work for them. But the fact that they were in the same building and literally over the hallway from me was the next best thing. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to be fine because I've got them over the hallway. And then it was about 2 months ago that they said they had a job vacancy coming up, and I burst into tears. I was like, I want that job. So it made me have a big think about the other job, and I went over to South Australia and met everybody offline for the first time. Well, I'd met a few of them, but most of them I hadn't, and spent a week in Adelaide. And if I lived in Adelaide and I wanted to work in a law firm in Adelaide, they would have been a perfect fit for me. But me basically running an interstate office of a law firm on my own part-time with a massive workload. And, there was support, but only as much as they could give me. I could see myself going down the burnout road again. And I was like, no, nip this fucker in the bud. And I'm proud of myself because I've always put my loyalty and my desire to not let people down or disappoint people as a priority, especially when, in the past when I was younger and ambitious, you kind of had to put those things first and not your own best interest. If you were when I was climbing the corporate ladder, that was the approach I had to take. But I'm now at the tail end of my working life, and I didn't want to become the best workers' rights lawyer in Tasmania. I just wanted to help people, and that's what I'm doing in the new role. But it's without the stress and the pressure. Plus, I'm working in a team that I've worked with before back in November, December, January. I'm still in the same building. I'm still with all the other people that occupy offices in the building who we all get on so well. Like, there's nobody in the building that clashes. It's unbelievable. Got all these men and women thrown into this building and we all adore each other. To the point that, and this has been happening since I first discovered this building, but, somebody grows rhubarb and you come into work and there's 5 bags of rhubarb, with a help yourself sign on it. And so over the weekend, I took Gina a welcome to that neighbourhood pack the other day that had a bottle of champagne, a beautiful Tasmanian cheese platter, like a really small one, but it had, not really small, like the size of a dinner plate, but it had all the different timbers of Tassie, including Huon Pine and sassafras, like absolutely beautiful, and she loved it. And I got her some Ashgrove truffle brie and some Tasman sea salt lavash crackers, which is so good, and also a book about Dodges Ferry, where we live, which is written by the great-granddaughter of Mr. Dodge, who the suburb is named, or the town is named after, who was the original ferryman down there back before these causeways existed and everything had to be taken down there by a ferry. You get stuck in life, very impressed by your choices. Oh, thank you. I'm impressed too. And I mean, I don't fluff my pillows very often, as you guys know, but I am impressed with me on this occasion that I was like, I'm not the right fit for this role. Great people, progressive law firm, heavily into advocacy, all these things that I'm really motivated by and driven by, but it still wasn't the right fit. Mr. Dodge, I know. I know everyone gives us shit about living in Dodges Ferry because they're like, oh, that place sounds really dodgy, which is why we all call it Dodge Vegas. And you all know it's fantastic. It's a little slice of heaven. There's a beautiful poem in the book. I'll have to read it to you guys because it sums up Dodges Ferry perfectly. I think it's meant to be don't pay the ferryman there, Francesca. Don't take the ferryman. It's don't pay. We should do that now. Misheard song lyrics. Always a laugh. Thanks for keeping me awake, guys. It's actually worked. It's working. I'm way less exhausted than I was when I left the office. Don't take the ferryman. I put the radio on.
Looking like France and stuff.
Damn, wouldn't you piss yourself if that was what was playing? So yeah, I made Donna, rewind. I made Gina. I took over this beautiful gift to her, and then she had welcome to the neighbourhood for me, for her, but like for her. So when she said for me, meaning her, not me. Anyway, she had drinks and nibbles on Saturday night. So I was like, well, I've got to take something. So I baked her some biscuits. When Biscuit died, my cousin gave me a cake tin with a kitten on it and a cat-shaped cookie cutter. And I've tried 3 times to make these friggin' cat-shaped biscuits. And you guys know I'm not much of a baker. You are a stimulant. Yeah, don't take him or pay him, exactly. Leave Mr. Dodge on his ferry where he belongs. But don't give him any money. You are stimulating, all of you. So, yeah, I love cooking and I like making chilled desserts. Like I make a mean creme brulee. Don't mess with my creme brulee. But, or panna cotta too, another specialty of mine. But I worked out myself that the dough for these cookies had to be pretty firm because the cutter isn't huge, but it's big enough for them to be cute. So my sister the other day, completely unconnected, for some reason, gave me a flamingo-shaped cookie cutter. And trust me, I tried that on the dough and it was fucked. The dough got stuck in the beak and one of the foots repeatedly. But there was a recipe for a vanilla biscuits on the back of the flamingo cookie cutter packet. So I made that dough and it was firm enough. And I made like 100 of these little cat biscuits. You love this channel? Thank you. I love it too. It's small and sweet and supportive and loving. It's great. It even makes me feel good. Well, it always makes me feel good that we've proven you can have just a nice little community that hangs out together on YouTube without everyone being a tosser, you know? So I took over a plate of cookies for Gina. She texted me the next morning and said, I'm having the kitty biscuits for breakfast. I'm going to have a very shiny coat. Because when I gave them to her, because they were just vanilla cookies afterwards, I thought, look, I hope she knows that for her, not her cats, because she's got two beautiful cats. Chop Chop, who's my new boyfriend, and Violet. They're so cute. Anyway, I've got little cat biscuits coming out my ears. So then I was meant to meet my sister for lunch today, so I put some in a little packet for her. I kept about 4 at home for me to have because they are really yummy. And then the rest of them, like about, I don't know, 80 of them, or maybe not 80, probably 50, 60. I didn't have 100. I had about 75, I think, 76. But I took them into the office and put them, we've got like a communal table outside the kitchen where some people eat their lunches, and anyone that's made anything just leaves things there, or if they've made something and it's in the fridge, they leave a note. And I put my little container down and said, they're vanilla biscuits. Sorry, they're not gluten-free, but they're yummy. And they were all gone. And one of the girls in the building, Tani, came in at the end of the day and she said, I've just had my 7th cat biscuit. Please make them again. So, yeah, that was a long-winded story. So I made biscuit-shaped biscuits and took them all in. And then Tani, funnily enough, she arrived this morning. She had like a little packet of, do you guys remember fairy cakes? Like the little vanilla cupcakes, and then your grandmothers used to make them all the time, and they'd cut the top off it and they'd turn the top in, they'd cut the top twice and turn them into fairy wings. But before they put the wings on, they'd put red jelly and then whipped cream, and then the wings would be sticking out of the whipped cream. Do you guys remember them, fairy cakes? So I've just put my little basic, plain, but tasty cat-shaped. I'll put a picture up of the cat shapes. They are cute. I sent them to my cousin who gave me the cookie cutter, and she was like, oh, my God, they're so cute. But, yeah, Tony walks in with these fucking fairy cakes. I'm like, oh, thank you. Upstage my biscuits with your fancy pants cupcakes. And she said, well, none of us like them, but I'm certainly going to eat one of your biscuits. Anyway, she ended up eating 7 of them. Oh, did you guys call them butterflies? We called them fairy cakes. Everything had to be a fairy. There was fairy bread, fairy cakes. My uncle, who was a closet fairy. You know, there's just a lot of fairies. Exactly, Francesca. You could still buy them. Well, the packet that she had been made in it was a bakery, or it was probably even a supermarket punnet, looking at it. I know that you're Victorian, Serenity B. Uh-oh, Casper's here. Casper's arrived. Behave yourselves. Everyone's keeping me awake, Casper. I've had a post-second shot slump. I was suffering from chronic exhaustion. I just wanted to get under my desk in my new job and sleep for the whole afternoon. But I've also had a frozen brain. I've had brain fog all day. So everyone's keeping me awake to get me home in one piece so I don't hit a deer. Did you guys see that footage of Mummy Rambling's blog hitting a baby deer? She didn't fucking stop. You have to shout at me, Casper. I can't read little case. I'm sorry, mate. So that's, in a long-winded way, Serenity B, that's the new job. I've gone full circle back to where I started out in November last year, this time in a paid role. Community legal centres always want volunteers, and it's a really good way to get in and meet people and see what sort of work they do and if it's the right place for you. So when a job comes up, it's pretty fucking exciting. But just so everybody knows, community legal centre lawyers, we do not earn much money at all. So I'm going to be living a frugal life. But as long as I can feed Sonny and pay vet bills and put petrol in my car, I'll be happy. Oh, you saw the deer today. She's batshit crazy. I'm sorry. That woman is a drip. And she's fucking highly strung. She's got the personality of a wet sponge that's wrapped, like it's got an elastic band around its waist that's too tight. So she's in a constant state of hypersensitivity. And oh, that's right. Yeah, lettuce. That was what was it? Floppy lettuce or soggy lettuce or yeah. Much love to everyone in lockdown. I rang a friend of mine. I was going to go live and do some scam baiting on YouTube yesterday, but in the afternoon because I wanted to watch Survivor last night, and because I'm having so much fun on Twitter with that. And then I decided to call a friend of mine in Melbourne instead, and we had a chat for like 3 hours, and it was lovely. Mummy Rambling's blog, Casper, she hit a deer. Limp lettuce. She was driving along alive, reading chat, hit a baby deer, and then didn't friggin' go back and see if it was injured or not. Hit and run. Hit and run. I didn't see much more of it than that. I can't remember why I even saw that bit, but apparently she pulled over and rang her husband and was freaking the fuck out. She was driving through New York and she was freaking the fuck out because a woman was waving her arms. And she was like, "What's that woman doing, waving her arms? I don't like this area. This area is dangerous." I was like, my God, lady. I think Hello Starlight's got, on her Starpunk channel, I think she's got videos of Mummy Ramblings driving. It's really eye-opening to hear how highly strung this woman is. Totally freaking. Oh, they're all weird. And that's the problem, Casper. I'll probably now have them after me because that's what they do, right? They go after people. But fuck it, I'm just providing commentary. Firstly, she hit a deer, a baby deer, a Bambi, and fled the scene of the crime, which is so fucking inhumane. That little Bambi may have needed to be euthanized and instead fucked off and left it to like die a painful death on the side of the road. Oh yeah, she's what, you didn't get all excited about the knitting? Oh no, the crafting. Look, hey, there's room for everyone on YouTube, and there are people that dig crafting, and that's the thing, but she very much is a cure for insomnia. She was never my thing. She's I didn't find her true crime good, and I didn't like the craft, so but there's an element of curiosity that made me watch her too, like grown women coddling baby dolls and pretending that they're real babies. That crowd, that community is interesting. Or when they went through that stage where they were all getting these balls and they were like little miniature supermarket products, and they'd all get excited because they got a bleach bottle and it was pink, and all the other people had a blue bleach bottle, and they were like, "Oh my God, I haven't seen the pink one before." I was like, "Are you serious?" They actually narrated the opening of these fucking landfill nightmares, horrors, big plastic balls with plastic shit inside them. Well, I agree, to each their own, but it doesn't mean we can't comment on them. We comment on all the shit we see on YouTube, but she hit Bambi and then fucking took off, hit and run. And that poor little animal potentially just, limped off the road and fell in a ditch and lay there bleeding to death for the next 12 hours in excruciating pain. Its mother was probably nearby and curled up next to it and cried its little eyes out. Like, that's the shit that bugs me with animals, is all of that kind of how they're affected by the actions of humans, even if what we do is accidental. And we owe it to them to make sure they're okay. And if they're not okay, call out somebody who can come and euthanize it. Or put it in your car and take it to a vet who can euthanize it. It just distressed me. She's a fucking true crime channel, and she did a live hit and run witnessed by hundreds of crafty women who like dolls that look like babies. Oh, Joey Wilson, hello. Oh, Serenity B, you've got the doll. See, they freak me the fuck out. Not a doll or a soft toy in my place. Well, no, that's not true. There's a couple of soft toys that are biscuit/Sunny's toys, but nothing that I own. I can't sleep in a room that's got dolls or clowns or teddy bears in it. No way, no day. I would rather sleep outside in the garden or in a hack under a tree in the backyard than in a room bug eyes looking at me and eating my soul. I get your point, Tori. I don't know what one it was. I've made a few. We'll go down to the beach for a moment before I head home. Thank you for keeping me awake, guys. The drive home, I was really seriously dreading it. Like, I've never once gone, oh, fuck. And it's only been like 40 minutes. I haven't even been live for 40 minutes. That's how quickly I've got home. Leaving home a bit earlier, my job finishing a bit earlier in the day, big difference. Hey, Ruth. G'day. If you see a spider in your room, you can't sleep till it's dead. Do you know that we swallow insects in our sleep during our lifetime, and at least 5? Did that freak you out, knowing that? The room awaits me. I swear to God, Serenity B, I will help you empty it out so I can have a good night's slump. Like, seriously, stayed in a place one night. We went away for a weekend. We did a How to Host a Murder weekend away, and the room that I was in had clowns and teddy bears all over it. And I opened this little door, and it was like a little attic storage cupboard, and threw like 300 bloody stuffed toys, teddy bears, clowns into this cupboard, and then forgot to put them all back out on the shelves when we left. They were creepy as fuck, man. They scared me. I watched Poltergeist as a kid and soft toys. I can't watch any movies like horror movies with possessed dolls, like whatever movie it is that has the doll Annabelle. I can't watch it. I cannot watch it. Nope. Chucky, forget it. I love spiders too. Do you want me to still come here, Tori, talking spiders? I love a spider. I love me a spider. I just look at them and go, oh, you're lost, and I put them out. Not always with my bare hands, but sometimes. Huntsman, I tend to do the glass and postcard trick. Oh, well, if you've prayed over them, Serenity Bee, I might be okay. And you've got impeccable taste. I'm sure they're lovely. But I still don't want to sleep in that room. Have you got a couch? I'll scroll back. What have I missed in chat? How did she... Great news, a little three... Oh, they found the little 3-year-old boy, Joey? Because he was still missing this morning when I heard the news. How did she enjoy her RDA panel? Oh, you mean Joey? Yeah, Joey mentioned RDA the other day. Because she said they mentioned me, and I was like, what? Why? I'm just another middle-aged woman on YouTube they might take the piss out of, but I think they've left me alone. I think they've realised I can give as good as I get. Oh, that's great news, Joe, because I was almost thinking about doing that on my Smooth Criminal podcast show. I don't know why, because I've got no time. I've got a couple of scammers on the hook. I will go live and do some scam baiting, but I chose to spend 3 hours FaceTiming a friend of mine in Melbourne, giving her a bit of lockdown love. The healing room. Okay, nice. There's a video of him being found. Oh, cool. I'll check it out when I get home. Serenity Bay, if the dolly room was the last room in the house and I had no choice for you, I would do it. It's okay, Tori. They know you're okay. Woohoo! They like me. We are pretty easygoing, and we're not going to get involved with bloody YouTube fighting. It's the most boring thing around. My notifications now, there's no, apart from a clip channel, or 2 clip channels, one isn't putting much out. There's no one from the oldie crowdy that I used to watch. Oh, well, no, I shouldn't say that because I ended up going into, it was good timing actually because I wanted to drop some witty one-liners, but I did go into Science Girl when she had Diane up there. I didn't realise there's a few people that I still had subscriptions to that I didn't think of. Hey, Marie, how are you doing? Gorgeous. Are you out of quarantine yet? Oh, you've linked it? Oh, cool. Thanks, Joey. I'll check it out. That's great news. But I did think about covering it, and then I'm like, why? I don't want to be one of those channels going, oh, look, there's a bruise in that photo from 7 years ago. Well, it's only 3, but you know what I mean. There's one lone surfer out there catching the last waves before the sun goes down. Well, I mean, the sun's not even in the sky now. It's cloudy, but that's dedication. I don't like being out in the water at this time of the night on my own. Creepy. He's pretty brave because there's nobody watching him. He doesn't have like his surfing widow sitting on the beach watching that he's okay. It's pretty brave to do that. He's a way more competent surfer than I am, though. Oh, I'm glad you're able to go for a walk. Well done. That went quicker than I thought, but it must have felt like forever for you. So yeah, I will definitely be doing some live scam baiting again because that was a lot of fun on the channel. Traces of Nuts has just got a bit of everything on it. I'm not very good at pinpointing one thing and focusing on it on this channel, but I'll just I thought about doing it on the Smooth Criminal podcast channel, but it's hard to get people. Hey, Coach Clearfloss. Not in my world, dawn and dusk. No, sirree. Is that Emerald Beach? No, it's Park Beach. I've got a few on the hook at Emery. I've got a few to muck around with. So, but I created a great auntie who's just died. So I've asked them to give me a bit of space. One of them's ringing me and he's very pushy and annoying, but I want you to meet him because he's a fucking dickhead and I'm having a lot of fun writing witty responses to his comments. But I can foresee a lot of trouble with us. I'm already seeing that he's controlling, and at some point he's going to ask me to convert to Islam. I can't even work out if he's a scammer or not yet. He sent me a shitload of photos and he rings my phone a lot. And then there was this other dude who messaged me back in 2017. I didn't know that Messenger's got a spam folder. But a friend of mine checked out her spam folder and said, look who's in my spam folder. So I went to mine and there are all these literally like scammers in there. So, and some of them are from like 3-4 years ago, and I responded to them and nearly all of them have responded back. But one of them did respond back and he went, who are you? And I'm like, I'm the woman you messaged 4 years ago, fuckface. But anyway, he's already been blocked on my messages, so not by me. Maybe he'd block me. I don't know. But thank you for keeping me company and getting me home because, yeah, I've had a bit of, not a bad reaction to my second shot, but foggy brain all day. And then at about midday, it was just like, I am so tired. And I somehow managed to get through the day. Yeah, check out your spam folder in Messenger. Spider Pig does whatever a Spider Pig does. Well, somebody said they saw it in their spam folder, and I just went to Messenger, and there's a tab that said spam, and there they all were. 5 more minutes, guys, or 3 more minutes, and then I'll wrap this up and go home and feed my floof. What I was going to end on, though, because this is sort of topical with the title of my live, my sister-in-law, 2 weeks ago, her grandmother Beryl died of COVID in London because her son and his wife, who were anti-vaxxers, had lost their jobs last year and they moved back in with her for financial reasons. They caught COVID and they gave it to Beryl, who was elderly, and unfortunately for Beryl, she went downhill incredibly quickly and died. Exactly 2 weeks later, the anti-vaxxer son died today of COVID. So now the remaining anti-vaxxer wife, who's also got COVID, has lost her husband and her mother-in-law, and she's not communicating with any of the family members who, rightly so, questioned their anti-vaccine stance. Nikki's obviously devastated because she was very, very close to her grandmother, and my brother met Nikki when he was living in the UK, so he got to know her very well too, and they spent a lot of time travelling back to the UK, plus Beryl came out here a few times. So they're all devastated. And then now today, her uncle's died and her auntie probably, well, I don't know if her auntie's really bad or not, but one of your best friends' sister's 11-month-old. Oh, my God. That is horrible. Oh, that is horrific. But the point of me telling you about my sister-in-law's, well, she's my sister really, and her family and what's happened, Nikki has just asked all of us to tell that story. because I think the more people talk about their experiences and get information out there, even if it changes one mind, it's got to be worth it. It's got to be worth it. I don't want this to turn into a vax or not debate, because I'm logging off anyway. But I am going to honour Nikki's request and tell that story when I get a chance, if it's relevant, and people can make their own decisions. But Beryl would still be here if her son and his wife hadn't have been foolish, and now the son's gone as well. No, well, Tassie's rate of vaccinations is ridiculously good for an island that has no COVID cases. I'm really glad that I've got it. Because if I was that son and I didn't get vaccinated and I gave it to, I mean, my mother's no longer here, but if I gave it to somebody and they died because of me, that is the thing that would kill me. Living with that for the rest of my life, that I could have protected, whether it's somebody in my own family or a friend or someone in my community, a complete stranger, that would absolutely destroy me. I would never be able to forgive myself. And that's why I went and got it. And I've had both of them. And I've also had, spent a lot of time researching it and making an informed choice and not just buying into the scaremongering. And I've researched it. And nothing irritates me more than people on YouTube talking about why they're not getting it. If they have an informed decision and they make a choice, that's up to them. I'm not going to change anyone's mind. But, yeah, Thailand's a mess. It's awful. I'm so sorry to hear that story, Anne-Marie. But, yeah, for me personally, whatever COVID did to me, I'd deal with that. But if I caused the death of somebody else and it could have been prevented if I'd been vaccinated and I wasn't, I'd never forgive myself. So that's one of the reasons I made the decision. But, yeah. So I promised Nikki that I would share the story, and I have. I think it's fucked that people need something to happen to them personally. And didn't happen to Nikki at all. They've been vaccinated for a long time. My brother has just been responsible for getting 500,000 vaccinations to Australia from Singapore with a team of other people. They're very pro-vax. But I don't know where I was going with that. But, yeah, I just want to honour Nikki and share their story because it's pretty awful. Oh, yeah, the people just seem to need something to happen to them personally for them to make a decision, and that's a really stupid way to think when we're in a pandemic. People should be grateful nothing has happened directly to them or their family and make an informed decision, not wait for somebody they care about to die before they go, oh, fuck it, I better get a vaccination. That was my point. But on that note, with that beautiful blue early evening sky, I'm going to log off, get home, feed my cat, eat some meatballs and watch Survivor. Yeah, I'm very proud of my brother, Fran. He was acknowledged for his efforts too. Like, it was a pretty incredible thing, and I'm so happy for him because his last job, he really felt like he could make a difference, and then, not long into it, realised that there were always going to be people that had the ultimate say in everything that happened. But now he's in a role where he can actually make a difference, and it's incredibly rewarding. So I'm very proud of him. Yeah, and if we do, Casper, I'll line up for that too. But I'm going to go. Thank you for keeping me awake, everyone, but I am still feeling pretty exhausted, and I want to get into my house, put the heating on, feed the floof, feed myself, watch Survivor, and probably fall asleep on my daybed. I'll make a little nest in there, set my alarm just in case. But thank you. I really appreciate you all hanging out with me. I love how we pull together and look after each other. Don't abandon an animal if you hit it with your car. Check and see how they're faring. If you put a pillowcase that you don't use anymore in your car, I mean, obviously a baby deer wouldn't fit in a pillowcase, but an old blanket, a towel, and a pillowcase, if you do have the misfortune of accidentally clipping a little animal or something, pull over and see if they're okay or not. There's animal rescue places that are open 24/7. You can call them and find out where to take the animal. So if they do require to be euthanized and be put out of their misery, you're doing them a service. It's not cool to hit an animal and just drive on by and not worry about it. That's just fucked. Mummy fucking hit and running blog. On that note, pip pip, tally ho, love you groovers. See you all again very soon. Much love to each and every one of you. Bye for now.